Jagradev, Jai Masters. There are two very, very distinct ways that people get involved in, quote, spirituality. The common way is, I have my worldly life, I have my job, I have my finances, I have my relationships, I have my children, I have my friends, I have my social life, and that can get rather overwhelming. That can get rather difficult. It can get rather stressful. It can get rather problematic. So I need a break. So I do yoga, I meditate, I go on retreats, I read books. To me, that person, spirituality is, because my worldly life is so much to do and so much stress and so much tension and so much anxiety and fears and desires and just noise, a lot of stuff, I need a break. And therefore, I practice some form of spirituality that can include religious traditions, going to church, going to temple, Friday night, Sunday morning. In other words, it's a time that I put aside from my daily life to do something spiritual. Why? Because I have to. And maybe I only do it because I want to go to heaven. And I know if I don't do the traditions, that my afterlife won't be so good. So I'm just getting this separation between your life and this spare time thing you do to try to be okay, to try and make it more tolerable, to try and make sure you make an investment in your spiritual future. The other way that a person really deals with spirituality, the only real spirituality, is they've woken up enough to realize, I'm a mess. It's a mess in here. There's anxiety and tension and insecurity and jealousy and fear and anger and need. It's not comfortable in here. And what I've done with my worldly life, as we always discuss, is try to find things to do outside that make it more comfortable inside, such as relationships, such as vacations, such as money and what it will buy to distract yourself from yourself, such as jobs that make you feel proud and feel like you're contributing something and life has meaning. Why? Because I don't feel my life has meaning, so I need to give it meaning. That's how people use the outside world, their outside life. And then they do what I just told you. If they get in trouble, they turn to some form of spirituality to try and balance it out a little bit, try to make it somewhat tolerable. A spiritual person understands and realizes, if I'm a mess inside, the solution is not outside. The mess is inside, so the solution's inside. To compensate for the mess inside, to be a person who tends to be jealous and make sure you date someone that will always be faithful to you so you'll never feel jealous. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure you have security. Just make sure it's outside away so that when it comes in you feel better. A spiritual person doesn't devote, they don't not do things, don't get it wrong, but that's not how they devoted their life. They devote their life to understand, why is it a mess in here? Does it have to be a mess in here? Does it have to be a mess in here, and then I compensate for it by trying to have my outside world distract me from a mess inside? And as long as it does, I feel better. The relationship is really working. What do you mean? He's just the way I want. She says exactly what I want. I feel so good when I'm around her. Well, why don't you feel good when you're not? What, are you against relationships? No, I'm not. I just don't understand why you're not okay inside. I understand why your starting position is not, I am fine inside. I feel love. I feel joy. I feel inspiration. I feel meaning, because it's just beautiful to be alive and to be here and to contribute to life. And that's how I am. And that's how I interact with the outside world. Not to get anything, but to express the beauty that I'm feeling inside. Very few people know anything about that. What they know about is, I'm not okay inside, but I'm better when I'm with you. And I'm better if I'm on vacation. And I'm better when I think people respect me. That's for sure. There are things that the outside can do that make me feel better inside. All right? That's a worldly life. It's wonderful. It's great. But somebody at one point asked the question, was I just made not okay inside? I always challenge you, your body, it doesn't always be healthy, but the vast majority of the time, if I take everybody's body that's alive right now and say every breath they take, what percentage of the mass is healthy when they take that breath? And the answer is 95%. and maybe even 98%. Why? Because your body knows how to be healthy. It was meant to be healthy. It has an immune system. 25 trillion cells talk to each other. They do every single thing they can to try to be healthy. Then why is your psyche not healthy? Why is it your starting position is, I'm full of need, I'm full of desire, I'm full of fear, I'm full of anger, I'm full of problems. Now I need to go outside and find some way to distract myself from myself so that I feel better. That's the spiritual challenge. That's when you have awakened to spirituality. It's not a part of your life, it's your whole life. It's basically sitting there saying, I don't believe this was meant to be a mess. Everything else, look at the world. Look at the plants, look at the stars. It all takes care of itself. I always challenge you, how does the Black Forest in the middle of Germany get watered all these years? Right? Somebody go out there with a little pail? No. It's meant to work. It's meant to be beautiful. It's an amazing thing, life, isn't it? The planets stay in orbit just right, and we've got this ecosystem of ozone that protects us from the sunlight. It is so amazingly perfect, it's inconceivable, is it not? I mean, I'll challenge you to sit there and say, I heard a rumor that around this world, a single cell left alone in a womb, left alone, makes a baby by itself, without the mother doing a single thing. And it takes carrots and potatoes and tofu and Twinkies and Coke and knows how to break them down into their molecular structures and put them back together as eyeballs, hearts, livers, and kidneys. That's pretty amazing stuff. Everything's that way. It's all amazing. But what's this mess in here? How come that's not amazing? And the great ones tell you it is. The great masters tell you it's beautiful in there. It's filled with light and love and joy and God. And it's just not sometimes, always. Your natural state is ecstasy. It's total well-being all the time. No matter what's happening outside, you are fine inside. No one will tell you that. They tell you have to do things outside to make it so you're okay inside. No. The natural state of your being is filled with love, filled with joy, with nobody else. Just sit there and be in ecstasy, have fun. But you won't. Why? Because love likes to express itself. Because inspiration likes to create. And creativity likes to create. So now you're interacting with the world because you're beautiful. Because you're filled with love. And you're sharing that with every single thing that goes on in the world. Not, I'm not okay, and you guys better be who I need you to be to make me okay. That's why I pick my friends and my enemies. My enemies are the people that when I'm around them, I feel worse. My friends are the people when I'm around them, I feel better. Well, I feel sorry for you. There's 8.3 billion people on the planet Earth. I'd love you to feel ecstasy with every single one of them. And there's all kinds of weather. I'd love you to love it to pieces. Winds, storms, rains. Just it's such an exciting place. But you can't do that. Why? Because it's a mess inside. And the only thing that's okay with you, if you're getting what you want and avoiding what you don't want, and you spend your entire life struggling and fighting with life to try and make it be the way you want so you feel better, and make it not be the way you don't want so you don't feel worse. Fair enough? Okay. Spirituality is totally different from that. It basically starts with, why am I not okay? And then you're going to see it. And we always talk about it. I'm not okay for a very simple reason. Because I made myself not okay. Oh boy, you're not going like that. I did it. How do you know? There's no one else in there. I'm the only one in there. Anybody else in there? Mommy in there? Daddy in there? Kids in there? Boss in there? You're the only one in there, aren't you? If you're in a house and you're the only one living there, it's a mess. You did it. Okay? And so you wake up and you realize, what did I do, since I'm the only one doing anything in here, to make this a mess? And it does not take a big lecture. You sit there and realize, well, I know one thing I did. Every single thing that happened to me in my entire life that I didn't like, I stored inside of myself. Freud taught you that. Suppression, repression, resistance. You stored that stuff. I don't want to feel this. I was married and I have an ex-husband. He still lives in there, but I don't talk to him. It still comes up. If I hear his name, he goes, ugh. Even 10 years later. Who did that? He didn't do that. He's not there anymore. You did that. You were unable to handle the event that took place in life, and so instead of handling it or learning to handle it, Learning to say, okay, I got married, it didn't work, I got divorced. Good, okay, let's go. Let's do better next time. I hit a tennis shot, it went into the net. I'm never playing again. Yes, you'll play again, just do better. That's what life's about. It's about learning to do better, learning to be okay inside, learning never ever to say, I can't handle this. Why? What does it mean I can't handle this? It obviously happened. No one has ever made something that happened not happen. Ever. Never. No matter who they are, no matter how rich they are, how beautiful they are. So it obviously happened. And what you did with it when it came into you is said, I can't handle this. That's ridiculous. What does it mean I can't handle this? It means you can't handle it. Well, what do you do with it when you can't handle it? Be weird about it. Right? Freak out and cry all the time and get all upset and blame everybody else. And if I can't handle it, I got to push it away, don't I? But you didn't push the event away. The event happened. You pushed away your ability to handle the event. You pushed away your experience of the event. How's that? You don't suppress the experience. You suppress what it feels like when it comes in. The experience already happened. You can't stop it. Somebody says something you don't like. I'm never going to think about that again. I hate it. It still happened. What you do with it when it gets in there is your business. If it happened outside, it's over. It happened. But it got in there. What did you do with it when it got in there? That's the spiritual path. Not, I have to make sure it doesn't happen. And make sure it does happen. And out there struggling and fighting and tensing everything. Why can't I handle reality? That's a spiritual person. Doesn't even quote what happened. They say reality. It's reality. It rained. But I didn't want it to. Too bad. Obviously, it rained. You can talk about it all you want. You can resist it all you want. You can get as weird as you can, want to about it. It happened. And you will never, ever, ever make it not have happened, will you? So what kind of thing is this that you're doing in there of making a mess out of things because you can't handle them? That's when you're spiritual. That's called waking up. It's waking up to realize, wait a minute, what am I doing in here? I can't handle reality, so I make a mess of myself. I don't like what you... That's my favorite. If you leave me, I will be the most miserable person that ever walked the face of the earth. Your karma is going to be amazing. I'll just suffer every minute because you left me. Oh, good, congratulations. Instead, let's get to work. Instead of saying, I can't handle it, you learn to handle things. That is spirituality. And that will take you to the highest state you ever could be. That will take you to enlightenment. If you were able to handle every single event that unfolded in front of you, what does it mean handle it? It happened. I can handle it. Doesn't mean I'll do something about it. Maybe there's something for me to do about it. But not I can't handle it. I'm telling you, that's what you did about it. I couldn't handle it. What did that help? What did that do? She can't handle the sight of blood. Well, don't be around me when I get in a car accident. You're of no use. Anything you can't handle, you're of no use. If you say, I can't handle it, here, boss comes to you, here's a job, I want you to do the job. Oh, no, I can't do that. Well, you get fired. What good are you if you can't do reality? Because what you're going to do if you can't handle it is you're going to push it away inside. You're going to suppress it. You're going to keep it in there. And it's going to bother you for the rest of your life. I can't handle what you said to me. I can't. No one should talk to me that way. I can't handle that. Okay, what's going to happen? Something's going to remind you of it 10 years later. You never talk to the person again. Your best friend. You screwed it up. The event didn't screw it up. The event was what it was. Everything has its nature. Things happen in the world. And we always talk about that. Why did they happen? Why did it have to rain on my birthday? It doesn't know it's your birthday. How can you mess yourself up by making a statement like that? It's not innocent. You think it's innocent. Why did it have to rain on my birthday? I can't. I'm so mad at God. This is ridiculous. There was one day. What are you doing? You're basically making a mess of yourself over absolutely nothing, over reality. If you do that, you will be a mess. That's why it's not okay inside. I swear to you, I've been doing this for 50-odd years, all right? There's only one reason you're not in ecstasy right now, because you do that. You take situations that unfold in the world and decide you don't like them. Congratulations. I don't like it. Well, what happens when you don't like it? I suppress it. I get angry. I get upset. I get tense. The situation did not do that. You did that about the situation. The moment in front of you is not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. But if you decided not to bother yourself about the moment in front of you, then you're not bothered. The trouble is no one will teach you that. They'll teach you that if it bothers you, make sure it doesn't happen. Manipulate everybody and everything to make sure that situations that bother you don't happen. Instead of learn to handle the fact that life unfolds. It rains on birthdays. Things happen, don't they? And by the way, they happen for reasons. Everything that happens has a reason. It's all cause and effect. Everything is just reality expressing itself. That which you said to him make him upset, so he said it to somebody else. It's all a world of cause and effect out there. But you can't handle it. Admit that. Can you handle everything? Have you handled everything that ever happened in your life? I'm guaranteeing you the ones that you couldn't handle are still in there, aren't they? They come back up, you worry about them, you don't have to happen again, etc., etc. That's what's wrong. The world is not wrong. The world is what it is. Don't we have scientists that study why the world is the way it is? Don't we have historians that study why everybody was the way they were? Don't they look back, why was Hitler the way he was? Well, they've analyzed it, right or wrong. They didn't sit there and say, there's no reason. Okay? And that's why everything's the way it is, because of all the things that made it that way. Now, the question is not that. The question is, can you handle it? I'm going to be strict with you. Can you handle reality? How do you like to think of yourself as somebody who can't handle reality? No one wants to think of themselves that way. You can't handle reality. Do you understand that? It comes in, and you decide whether I can handle it or not. And when you can't handle it, you store it. And when you store it, it blocks you. And you worry about it, and you get tense, and you're afraid it's going to happen again. All that kind of stuff. And that's what creates tension. There's no tension. There's no anxiety. There's no fear. There's not that kind of fear, psychological fear. If a lion jumps at you, you're probably going to get scared. There's biological fear, but you don't deal with that. What percentage of breaths you've taken in your life where you're dealing with biological fear? Most of you, none. But some, yes, that's right. Somebody attacked me or did this or that happened. We had a car accident. But it's a tiny little fraction of your life. The rest is you made it fearful. You decided, I don't like this. No, I don't want to date anymore. Why? Because I'm afraid of getting rejected. Congratulations. You do it with every single thing. I teach you. Some people bother me because I give the same examples, but I like the examples. If you're driving down the street, there's a driver in front of you driving 20 miles an hour below the speed limit. It's a 55 speed limit, they're driving 30. Well, you're in a rush. You don't like that, do you? You get all upset and anxious, and you talk to them. What's wrong with you? Don't you see the sign? They don't hear you. Every single thing you're doing is causing trouble inside yourself for absolutely no reason. There's no benefit, but you don't pay attention. You do that. And I'm guaranteeing you, the next time you see a car that looks like that, you make sure you're in the opposite lane. You don't drive down the road anymore. You literally stored this and let it affect your life. Just an event that's unfolding in life. And you get to the point where you start to wake up and realize, I made myself a mess. I'm in here. I live in here. What did I make my house like? And you're going to realize you messed it up completely by not being able to handle reality. So if you get to the point where you say to yourself that I am responsible for what it is like inside myself, because I am the owner who lives in here. If my mind's complaining all the time, I did it. If my heart hurts all the time, I did it. Yes, events happen in the world. They're not all pleasant when they come in. But they're over. But you don't let them be over, do you? Freud was right. You store them inside of you. But Freud wasn't the first person that said that. Thousands of years before Freud, in the Upanishads, in the great ancient writings in the Hindu tradition, the yoga tradition, they talk about these things called samskaras. That's a Sanskrit word, samskaras. What's a samskara? An event that happened, and when it came in, you couldn't handle it, so you pushed it away, so it got stored inside of you. Boy, that sounds a little bit like suppression, doesn't it? Freud was not the first person to talk about that. Yogis talked about that thousands of years ago. Why? Because they were trying to liberate and free themselves. They meditated, went into caves. Right? You don't have to do it. They sat in caves and watched in there. And they noticed that all the stuff that they couldn't handle throughout their life is still in there. It comes back up. Go try to meditate and see what your mind thinks about. Do you ever worry? They tell you worry is natural. No, it's not. It's like telling you your stomach ache is natural. You worry because you stored stuff inside of you that you didn't like, and you're afraid they're going to happen again. And you don't want them to happen again. And you worry they're going to happen again. Or you store stuff inside yourself that you really, 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 really liked a lot. It happened years ago. I really, really liked it. I want it to happen again. And I'm afraid it won't. You stored this stuff in there. And either you don't want it to happen again or you want it to happen again. And so you can't have a nice life. Because you get all anxious and worryful and fearful and all this kind of stuff. You know it's true. And like I said, if you want to, just go out there and keep running to try and run away from yourself. To try and be busy and have events and have people clap and get accepted and have love affairs. And just do what you can to stay away from the mess you created inside. Does it work? Of course not. Why do you think 50% of all marriages in America end up in divorce? It didn't work anymore. I used to be in your presence and I felt love and I felt safe. Now I don't. Goodbye. I wasn't in this for you. This is not a relationship. This is about me. I'm in this because I feel better when I'm around you. Why would I be around you if I didn't feel better? Instead of saying, what's wrong with me? Why do I need all these psychological things outside? It's because you stored all this stuff inside. It's a mess in there. So spirituality is first about realizing it is a mess in there. Yes, it is. Can it be nicer? Sure. Go on a vacation and do this or do that and have a love affair. It'll be nice for a while, a little bit. When was the last time you got exactly what you wanted and never wanted anything else? Have I asked that to every single person in the world that ever lived? I'm going to get the same answer all the time. Never. You know that little hamster that runs in a cage? That's who we are. You're running as fast as you can away from yourself and trying to find something that will never be there. If you got a mess inside, outside's not going to fix that. It just temporarily, conditionally can make it a little bit better, but it's not going to fix it. And so you wake up. Now we're ready for the real talk, because we talked about two types of spirituality. One is you're having just do better, feel better, and the other is fix it. And so how do you fix it? And now you're talking real business. You sit there and say, well, the problem is that I can't handle things. Isn't that the problem? The problem is I can't handle things. I can't. All right? Well, then what do I do when I can't handle them? It's the funniest thing I ever heard of. You store the things that you most don't like inside of you. Every event that ever happened to you that bothered you is still in there, isn't it? Comes up when somebody says something, or you think something, or have a nightmare. It's still in there. The other stuff, trees pass by, cars pass by, they don't stay in there. But the stuff that bothers you, you store it. And if you're going to store everything that ever bothered you inside, what's it going to be like? Bothered. So this is called waking up. That's really what waking up means. I've woken up. I'm not just running around in my life. I understand what's going on. The root. The Buddha's talking about working at the root. So the root is that I can't handle stuff, and I stored all this stuff in here. They took my blankie away when I was 3 years old. So now psychology says I'm a mess. And you are. If the blankie was blue, you either hate blue or love blue. You don't even know why. And so you come down to the point where you start to do the work. What does that mean? If the problem is that I can't handle reality, and therefore I suppress it and store the things I don't like inside of me, so now I'm a mess inside, the solution is, 1, to learn to handle things, and 2, to let go of the stuff you stored in there from the past. It's not even happening anymore. I don't understand. My parents got divorced when I was 5, and it was really painful to me, and I didn't like my stepfather or my stepmother, and I just, oh my God, how old are you now? 65? Why are you still talking about it? You don't understand. It was really painful. In fact, I'm on a blog called People Whose Parents Got Divorced When They Were 5 and Are Not Okay, and it's a very busy blog. It's over. It's been over for 50 years. No one will talk to you this way. What kind of crazy thing is that? You understand that? So, 1 is I have to learn to handle things so that I don't store them inside. You have memory. Nothing wrong with memory. Computers have memory, but it doesn't all of a sudden come back up because somebody said something or didn't say something or looked like your sister who died in a car accident 30 years ago. You don't have that garbage inside. You have stored memory. That's wonderful. Bring it up when you want to. Don't bring it up when you don't need to. It's a data bank. But that's not what we're talking about. These samskaras that yogis talked about, they're packed with the power of why you didn't like them. When they come back up, they feel the same. You sit there and say, God, I feel the same as I did before. Because you stored the emotion, you stored the energy, you stored the thoughts, you stored the whole kit and caboodle because you pushed it away with your will and it got stored in there. Literally, yogis call it a samskara. Energy comes in. An event is energy. It comes in. It's supposed to pass through you. You learn from it, you grow from it, it passes through you. Then you have your next event. It's a wonderful thing. Be here now. Okay? But if you don't do that, you resist the event, But it's energy. It has to go somewhere. I literally wrote this in my first book I wrote in 75, way back, 74, called Search for Truth. And it talked about the fact that these energies come in, your will resists them. Energy needs to keep moving. Energy can't sit still, so it cycles around itself. It's still there, you hear me? All the emotions, all the thoughts, all the energy, and it's cycling around the resistance that your will put there. That is what a samskara is. That's what yoga means by a samskara. And that's just what Freud talked about with suppression. He just didn't get into the energy patterns and stuff, right? How many of those have you stored? Big ones, small ones, and you got all that stored in there. That has blocked your energy flow. That has blocked your love. How do you know it blocked my love? Because you can love somebody and they can say one single word that bothers you and you don't love them anymore. In 1 second. Yes, you've seen that. Your heart can open and close based on those samskaras. If they said something different, it could open you up. If they said the same thing to somebody else, it wouldn't bother them. Understand that you did this. If your heart opens and closes, that's because you stored stuff in there that closes your heart. And when something happens that doesn't hit that stuff, the heart's more open. You feel better. It's not hard to understand this stuff. It's not complicated. It's not mystical. Spirituality is not mystical. It's not about beliefs. It's about understanding and realizing what's going on inside of you. And so you start realizing spirituality is about, one, learning to handle things. We'll talk about how. And second, letting go of this meaningless garbage. No one will talk to you that way. You're not being compassionate. Yes, I am. I'll show you what not compassionate. Oh, you poor thing. That happened to you? I feel so bad. And 20 years ago, of course it's still bothering you. What kind of way is that to talk to somebody? You sit there and say, it's over. Come on, I'll help you up. You don't have to be like that. Here, you had an accident, you broke your leg 20 years ago. You're still limping, right? The doctors say you're fine. No, I'm not. I can't walk on this leg. I remember exactly. What are you doing? You're ruining yourself. And so they should talk to you that way. You're okay. Be compassionate. Don't yell at them. I understand what it's like to have this blocked stuff inside, but you don't have to have that in there. You do not have to have any of that in there, and you don't want it in there. Isn't it a problem? You're afraid it'll get hit. It's a problem. So you learn to handle things, and you learn how to let go of the stuff you stored before. And you will find out, if you do that, if you work on that, you'll be a much happier person. They write me from all over the world. Hey, it works. Well, of course, how can it not work? You're undoing, releasing the garbage you stored inside. Like I said, your natural state is inspired by what? Everything. Oh, can I do the garbage tonight? Oh my God, can I do your dishes? I love doing the dishes. I feel water on my hands. And all of a sudden you're inspired by every single thing. There's energy in there that's coming up. You don't ever get tired or depressed or anything like that. What is depression? You're so blocked that there's no energy in there. That's what depression is. I always tell people, you're not depressed. You're watching a depressed psyche. The consciousness is aware there's no energy in my heart, no energy in my mind. It says everything negative. There's no purpose to live. That is a psyche that's blocked, has no energy. To go take a fan that needs 120 volts AC and turn it down to 3. See how it works. Okay, that's what it feels like to be depressed. You have no Shakti, you have no energy. So now how does one use life in a much more meaningful way to where you've integrated spirituality with your entire life? They're not separate things. That's the main thing I wanted to talk about. Some people say to me, how do I balance my spiritual life with my worldly life? Don't come to me and ask that. I never did such a thing. I don't even believe in such a thing. You have one life. And it's all integrated, and every minute of it is for the same purpose, and you're doing the same thing. Whether you're at work, relationships, vacation, meditating, all the same. Everything's exactly the same. You're doing it for the same reason, and you're maintaining that same consciousness. What does that mean? Okay, now we've just talked about what spirituality is. Notice it wasn't mystical. What religion is it? There's no such thing. Here's the religion of spirituality. I need to handle reality. That's checkpoint 1. These are your 2 commandments. Thou shalt learn to handle reality. Why? Because it happened. Okay? There's no alternative. Thou shalt handle reality, and thou shalt learn to let go of the garbage that you stored in there because you couldn't handle reality before. How's that? Pretty simple stuff, isn't it? You do that, and you're on a spiritual path. Yeah, but what do I do when I go to work? That. What do you mean? I said I went to work. I didn't say I'm working on myself, I'm meditating, I'm doing mantras. I didn't say that. I said I went to work. Okay, what happened when you went to work? I don't get along with my co-worker. They don't treat me properly. They don't respect any of the work that I'm doing. My boss doesn't respect me. I didn't get the corner office, somebody else did. Oh, I see. So we shouldn't work on that, should we? That has nothing to do with being blocked. That has nothing to do with your garbage. That has nothing to do with handling reality. Somebody else got the corner office, you didn't. But what if we sit there and say, I'm taking a graduate school right off. What if we sit there and say, that is my spiritual work? What? To handle the fact that somebody else got the corner office. You mean every minute of my life has the same purpose? Learning to handle reality? And being at a spiritual retreat and sitting there for 2 weeks, meditating all the time, learning to handle what it's like, is no different than going to work and handling the events that are happening to you all day. You hear me? Some people say to me, I meditate. I've always meditated some, right? My master, Yogananda, teaches meditation. Oh, it's a whole path. Surprised I'm not struck by lightning because of the way I talk. So I say, I'm not here to teach you meditation. Other people are. There's a lot. Are there other meditation teachers? There's so many meditation teachers. Are you kidding me, right? I don't teach meditation. I've never taught meditation. What do? I teach you what to do when you're not meditating, which is a little bit more of your time. And a little bit harder, by the way. Why? Because you can't handle the world. At least in meditation, you don't have to. You just have to handle yourself. But out there, it hits your stuff. So let's take relationships instead of work. Surely relationships are not part of spiritual, spiritual celibacy and its renunciation and its being by yourself. And no. Have you noticed that relationships hit your stuff? Has anyone noticed? Anything you have in there is going to come up when your heart's open. Okay? And if you notice that in your relationships, you want people to be the way you want them to be. Come on, man, I married you. We took vows. You need to support me. We're at a party and I said something and I was wrong. I was stupid. And you didn't stand by me. Well, you were wrong. So what? You married me. That's what you call a relationship. You're supposed to be there for me. That's what it's all about. What if you wake up and realize that's the lowest part of my being? The part that's not okay. The part that's not willing to sit there and say about a group of people, I said something that was wrong. They said that was wrong. And I couldn't sit there and say, you're right. Thank you. I was wrong. You can't do that, can you? It bothers the ego too much. It doesn't feel good to be wrong, does it? And you sit there and say, that's the meaning of my life. What? Those 2 commandments. Learn to handle reality and let go of what you stored in there from before that's bothering you. So why can't I stand there and say to somebody, yeah, that was pretty stupid. Thank you. I appreciate you pointing that out. Well, because my ego won't let me. Because then they won't like me. Because then I won't be respected. And I can't be wrong. I can't have these people think that I could ever be wrong. You were wrong. I don't care. And that's what it's like out there, isn't it? And lie. Make something up. We have words for that nowadays, don't we? Fake news or whatever. I don't even know what the words are. Just say whatever you want to say that makes you feel better. Keep your stuff inside. Spirituality is not about that. Spirituality is about sitting there saying, a moment just happened, I said something stupid, I was wrong, and I can handle it. I can handle what? I can handle having been wrong. Look at how many aspects there are. I can handle having been wrong. I don't like that, because I like to be right. I can handle people knowing I was wrong. Oh no, that's allowed. No, please, no. I can handle people thinking I'm stupid. I can handle people walking away because I was so wrong. I can handle feeling rejected because they judged me. Okay? I'm going to learn to handle that. Which would you rather be? A person that can't handle that? Or a person that's fine? Okay, fine. I said something stupid and they're walking away. Okay, what's next? I'd like to be like that. Nothing bothers you. Well, did you suppress it? Make believe it didn't happen? Practice denial? No. I handled the fact that the person walked away calling me stupid. I told you I can take you to graduate school tonight. Do you hear me? Which would you rather be? The person that can't handle it, lies about it, fakes about it, avoids it, denies it, or the person who sits there and says, okay, I was wrong, and keep their heart open and feel love. I told you, you know you're getting somewheres? You're standing with a bunch of your friends. Here comes somebody across the street, and you know them, and you blush a little bit, and you just, oh my God. It's embarrassing, but that person has a lot of respect for me. They think I walk on water. Of course I don't. All right? Where do you see what it's going to be like when they come up here? And the person walks up and says, oh, it's you. Oh my God. I can't believe I ran into you. I've been looking for you. Right? And there you are, and you get embarrassed. They walk away. Okay, that happened. Now, later, you're talking to the group, and somebody else is walking over here. You see them coming. You say, oh my God, wait. They hate me. This person thinks I'm the worst person that ever lived. They never have a nice thing to say, but tell every single person about me that I'm the most worst person they could ever. Where do you see what it's like when they come here? They come there and they dish you to pieces. They're right in front of your friends and everything. And there's no difference to you of those two people. They're both fun. If it doesn't affect your energy flow, if it doesn't affect how you're feeling, it's just fun. I told you the saint, who was a saint, that brought us the Durga statue from India, this lady down there, Mayuk Shakti. She once told me from the time she was a child, she could never understand why anybody wanted anything. Like she was born enlightened or something, all right? But she once leaned over me, she said, Mickey, I said, yes, mother. She says, don't you just love when they yell at you? There's so much energy. There is, right? The trouble is you block it. She got high on it. Which would you rather be? Would you rather be happy all the time and filled with inspiration, nothing ever closes you, or be weird? You have a choice. It's your world. So we get back to those. I never talked about 2 commandments before, right? 1, handle reality. Watch. Ego will say, why should I? If it's wrong, why should I? Because it happened. You will never make it not have happened. So either you get bothered by what happened, or you handle what happened. It's your choice. And then the second one is let go of the garbage that you stored in there from before, which is making you a mess, which is disturbing you all the time. So how do you do that? You do it with your whole life. You don't do it on a meditation pillow. You do it there too. But you do it every minute of your life. All right? An event happened. Did it bother me? Checklist. Oh yeah. How will I know it bothered me? You'll know. See, this is very easy. Spirituality is the easiest thing. Meditation is that hard, right? But this is so easy. You say, well, how do I know what to do? How do I know how to breathe? How do I know how to meditate? You don't do it with this. How do I know it bothered me? You'll know. Don't worry, you'll know. That's not the question. The question is, do you want it to bother you? You're the boss in there. That's your kingdom. Listen to me. Nobody else lives in there. You are the conscious entity that is in there, that is experiencing what's going on in there. You get to choose what it's like in there. You don't get to choose what happens outside, but you get to choose what you do with it when it comes inside. How's that for a statement? And if you want to be beautiful and happy and filled with love and filled with joy and filled with inspiration, then you better learn how to handle things when they come in. Otherwise, you're going to store them in there. They're going to block all your energy. It's that simple. That's just the truth. So you learn how to practice with your everyday life how to become a whole, complete being that's filled with love, filled with joy, filled with inspiration, and nothing can ever take it away from you. That's how I want you. I think highly of you, don't I? You are perfectly capable. Why? Because I know. How do I know you're capable? Because if something really bothered you, it keeps coming back up, doesn't it? Somebody says something. I told you not to talk about that. I don't like when you talk about that, right? It's trying to release. You keep pushing it back down. Don't. Oh, why would I not push it back down? It feels bad when it comes up. Because you're storing feeling bad. Why would you want to store for the rest of your life feeling bad? What you do is you learn to let go. You learn. That's what we're teaching. Learn to sit there and say, I want to learn to handle reality, and I want to let go of the part of me that I couldn't handle from before. That's why. But it's painful. Of course it's painful. We're stored with pain, coming back with pain. But it's the pain that ends all pain. It's sitting there saying, I would rather have this out than in. I don't want to carry this with me for the rest of my life. And what you'll learn is that everyday life is going to bring up your stuff. You understand that? There's all kinds of events that are going to happen every single day. And you're going to see that it raises garbage inside of you because there's garbage you stored inside of you. If you have a pool, you're down in Miami or somewhere, there are pools, and all the leaves and dirt and sludge has settled to the bottom of the pool. That's what happens. You decide, I don't want it to be down there. What's the happen when you try to clean it up? The whole pool becomes dirty and filled with dirt, and right or wrong. There's no way you're getting that out without it spreading everywhere. That's what it's like inside. And you decide it's worth it. That's spirituality. It's worth it. It's worth it. It is worth getting this garbage out of there, or letting it go out of there and not putting more in, so I can be free, open, liberated, inspired, feel love all the time. Everyone's capable of it, but they won't do the work. They're babies. You're afraid of yourself. You're afraid of yourself, aren't you? You're afraid of your feelings. Isn't that funny? How many of you are afraid of your own heart? You know what it can do, don't you? That's because you have this garbage in there. Otherwise, the heart is beautiful. The heart's always just giving off inspiration and love. But you stored garbage on top of it. And so therefore, when stuff hits it, garbage comes up. And you're afraid of your own heart. You're afraid of your own mind. So you just wake up and realize spirituality is something very serious and very beautiful. It is the meaning of your life to have a beautiful life. You came down here, dropped on this tiny little planet. You're going to spin around the sun 80, 90 times. Some stupid little thing. Earth's been here 4.5 billion years. How long are you going to be here? And you stop making a mess of yourself. And you start working. I learned a long time ago, you don't start with the big stuff. You don't start with mommy and daddy got divorced and this happened and my sister died. No, don't even try, because it ain't going to happen. And the effort it would take to go through therapy and this and all that kind of stuff to get that one thing out, it's okay, you got thousands more. You start, and you'll like this because it makes you feel good. You start with the simple stuff. You start with the weather. If you can't handle the weather, you're not going to handle mommy and daddy. You're not going to handle going home on vacation and seeing your sister again. You're not going to handle all this garbage you have in there. If you can't handle that it rained, you can't handle that it's cold, can't handle it's hot. If you can't handle reality, that there's a star up there that you're close enough to, that it makes it 90, 95, 100 even degrees, you should be you look up at it. It's like, oh my God, it's a star. This is how you do it. Did you know it's not the sun? Stop calling it the sun. It's a star. You know, one of those little twinkly things out there at night, right? This one's the same star, but it's so bright and close to you that it makes it day, so you can't see the rest of the stars. And you're so close to a star that you feel its heat. Well, that's kind of neat, isn't it? Imagine being so close to a star that you feel its heat. That's pretty neat. And the thing's 93 million miles away. 93 million miles away, and you feel that much heat? That's unbelievable. So start using your mind for higher thought, called reality. So now I can handle reality. Why? Because I understand reality. I understand why things are the way they are. And it's really special. And then the driver in front of you, you sit there and realize I'm sitting on a little tiny planet. I try to have a picture. I look at it all the time. Well, there's a picture there you want to look at. It's a picture of the Earth floating in black empty space. Cassini took it on the way to Saturn from 2 million miles out. It will look to you like it makes you crazy. Every morning even I stand before that picture, it looks like just a 8x10 black negative. No, it's not. There's this little dot there called the planet Earth, and you're on it, and every single thing you ever dealt with on that planet, and all you do is bother yourself. That's hilarious. You just bothered yourself about absolutely everything, don't you? Come on. But I have a better picture, and so maybe someday I'll put it up there. It's not our star, but it's a picture of a star with a planet transiting the star. That's what planets do. They go around the star, right? The star's this big, the planet's this big. And you just see this little black dot. It is very much the proportion of the sun to the earth. And you can't handle what's going on here. You should be in marvel that anything's going on. There's plants and bugs and people and things and computers and all kinds. There's nowhere else we've looked anywhere. We've never seen anything. And all you do is complain. All you do is be afraid of what's going to happen and desirous about what you want. Do you understand that? Lift your thoughts up to reality. People always say, why do you keep talking about hundreds of billions of stars and trillions of galaxies? Because that's reality, and you won't think about it. You want to think about, oh my God, I have a little blemish or chin, right? My hair is curly, and the humidity, I got all frizzy, and those two people are talking over there. I hope they're not talking about me. Oh, maybe they're talking about me. Maybe she's telling her, but I told her not to tell her. That's how you want to live your life? Floating around this tiny little piece of dirt in the middle of nowheres? with hundreds of billions of stars, 200 to 300 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. And that sun is one of them. And you're this dot spinning around it, and you won't think about that. You'd rather think about the color of your shoes, or the fact that, better yet, that someone's wearing the same outfit as you are to the party, and you thought yours was unique. Are you having fun yet? Of course not. You're doing this, aren't you? You're welcome to raise your thoughts, to raise your feelings, to raise things. How do you do it? I told you. You start with the small things. Wait till you see how many there are. You start with your everyday life, things that there's no reason in the world for them to bother you. You don't change them. You know, like business. Here's business. We have cost-benefit analysis in business. Being bothered by the weather, here's your cost-benefit analysis. I'll build a scatter graph. I'll look at probability. I'll get all my statisticians. All right? If you're being bothered by the weather, the benefit is 0 and the cost is 100%. Because you ain't changing squat. That's true of so much of your life. You're just causing yourself sickness for no reason. Don't worry about the big stuff. Just start with the weather, the driver in front of you, what somebody said, what somebody didn't say. You said hello to Sally, and she didn't turn back and say hello to you, and she's your friend. Why? What are you doing? I told you, there's 8.3 billion people on the planet Earth. They didn't say hello either. Learn to raise your thoughts to where they make you healthy, instead of keeping all this garbage inside of you that makes you bother yourself about everything. Now you see how spirituality is an everyday experience. People complain, I have to get the kids from soccer. I'm so busy. Well, you have kids and they're playing soccer. About to have fun picking them up from soccer. I don't care if you have those things to do. Here's the benefit. You're going to pick them up from soccer anyways. You either enjoy doing it or complain about doing it. Tell me the cost-benefit analysis. You're not getting the other stuff done anyways. You might as well enjoy what you're doing. You're the one who's ruining it. It's not what you're doing. It's how you're doing it. If every single thing you're doing, all you're thinking about is the other things you should be doing, you'll never enjoy your life. And it doesn't do any good because you're not doing them anyways. So you might as well sit there and say, if I'm going here and I'm doing this, I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing. Be here now. I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing. Then I will turn to the next thing that's available for me to do. And if I don't get something done, I did my best. I didn't get it done. It's fine. I teach you that all the time. You know, part of the spiritual journey is like this. Do the best you can at what you're doing. Just the best you can. And whatever comes back is holy. It is the results of the best that you can. It's like your kid went to school and they made a fingerprint painting and brought it home. Mommy, look. All right? It's really not that good. Right now, flower doesn't look like a flower and there's just noise all over the place. Right? And what do you say? Oh, it's beautiful. And what do you feel? It's beautiful. Why? I did the best I could, Mommy. You melt, don't you? Well, that's how the universe feels about the best you can do. That's how God feels about the best that you can do. That's how anybody who has their head on straight feels about the best that you can do. That's the result of the best that you can do. That's wonderful. Well, what if it doesn't do well? What if people criticize it? Then you learn something. If you did the best that you can do, and they show you things you could have done better, thank them. That's wonderful. You learned. The best you can do next time will be better, won't it? This whole thing, I would tell people, which is better? Go take a math test and get 100%, absolutely every single, perfectly right. You didn't even study. It was just so easy. Now take the same math test and get 2 wrong. All right? Who's better off? You. You learned something. The other person, there was no reason to take the test, no reason to do anything. They already knew it. But that's not how our society works. You got 100, you got an 80, you failed. No, you won. But you have to be strong enough within yourself to realize society is full of it, because they're all full of people that don't want to be wrong, that think there's something right about being better than everybody else. No. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. That's what you're here for. And you have the right to change and to evolve and to learn. And don't you dare feel guilty or ashamed. Not if you do your best. Now, if you purposely don't do your best, that's something else altogether, right? If you know that I shouldn't be doing this and you do it, well, then guilt's good for you. You hear me? But if you do your best, and don't you ever compare your best to anybody else's, and don't ever look back and compare your past best to what you're doing now, because you learned all that stuff in between. Don't look back and feel embarrassed and ashamed, guilty. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that 20 years ago. Oh my God, how could I have done that? Because you didn't know any better. Because now the question is this. If the same thing happened today, would you behave the same way? They always say to me, no, of course not. Well, then you learned. You should be grateful. You should feel wonderful. You should feel proud of yourself, not guilty. Do you understand? Change your entire attitude about how you're dealing with things and dealing with yourself. That is what spirituality is. And what's going to happen, you're going to start to be happy. You'll start to feel light, and you'll do better at everything you do. Because you won't have all this junk you're carrying around with you. All right. Now, the main thing I want to talk about is the unity and the integration of your spiritual life with your worldly life. They're the same thing. Why are you doing what you're doing? To grow. Why are you doing what you're doing? To let go of the garbage inside of me. I'll just keep relaxing and releasing, dealing with stuff, handling stuff, and then every single day. I told you, a spiritual person, when they go to bed at night, they're not the same person as who woke up in the morning. Because you grew. You learned. You didn't use life to protect yourself. You didn't use life to hide from yourself. You used life to deal with this and let it go, and you're lighter. All right, I could talk on it forever, you know that. Do you understand? You're a great being, but you're making a mess inside yourself, and don't ever blame anybody else for your mess. Yes, they did things, but it's how you dealt with what they did that makes the difference, isn't it? Jagratif.